that time of the day again. Everything's cleaned up. Oh, geez, I've left a couple of things over there.
Except for your shit that's lying around everywhere.
It's part of life, isn't it? I'll drivel around for another 5 minutes. Wow, what a day on the water was yesterday.
It hasn't changed in 64 years.
No, mate, no. I mean, there's some of these good...
Your mother used to walk along going, I wish you'd just tidy up,
Yeah, I mean, Bruce's mum reckoned I was the best bloke in the world when I went round there, vice versa.
Oh, yeah, sucked up to them something chronic.
So the river is going down. I reckon maybe 5 centimetres, 6 centimetres since we got in last night. So as we go down, we tend to catch up with it a bit, but not enough. But it's, again, just absolutely beautiful. So we're spring now. Suddenly we're seeing blooms in the trees. There's baby everything's carrying on. Yep. As I've indicated before, the ducks are going to have a second hit, and they certainly are. So we've got most of the ducks on the river, bar the adults. You get 2 adults and 15 ducks flailing around. And then there's, amongst all of that, there's another hit of 15 little baby fluffy ping pong balls diving around the canoe. Right along the banks of the, whether we're seeing baby joeys with the mum, with the kangaroos, all the goats have kidded up, and you know, they're twins and triplets invariably with the goats. They've had a bit of rain here. There's plenty of tucker. There's plenty of feed. Everybody's just fat and happy, except for Ted.
Yeah,
but he's with me. That's why. But it's just beautiful on the river. We tell you that every day, but it is just absolutely divine. It's still kicking along at a fair pace, so we're going to get in today.
So Ted doesn't have to do any work?
No, well, that's the trick about being in the back of the canoe, is that he can't see. I can sometimes sleep.
Lots of goats, and whether that's because, you know, whether it's different country down here, whether it's slightly higher, we're seeing them, but I think way more goats we've ever seen in any previous part of the river, and just big herds of them.
There definitely are more goats. In fact, I can see one from here, but there's definitely more goats. Not that we're higher in the river, but being a little higher in the river means that you can just see so much more. Even that metre higher, it just makes it just that much more beautiful. Some of these red gums we've been having conversations about, you know, they've fallen as we literally, when we were back at Rose Isle Station, we arrived one day and there was a thing, and I put my fishing line out next to the next morning we arrived, the tree is in the river. That's what happens. They get undercut and they fall in the river. But some of these trees are hundreds of years old, and we were wondering and pontificating about, well, the river can't change too much in its course. The river gums will survive anyway across these sort of wetlands around the river. But they still seem to be kicking on, and the age of some of these things is just absolutely phenomenal. But very beautiful, and I'm not sure because of my gibbering you can hear in the background, but the birds, the cacophony of the most beautiful sounds.
Apart from the screech owl during the night, that wasn't so good.
Yeah, I can sleep through a lot of things.
Oh, well, it might have been you screeching.
No. All right, well, yeah. I think we should head off.
Today it's 40k to where we hope a car is parked for us. Whether we get there today or we stop a bit short, depends on, how hard Ted paddles.
Oh, well, don't rely on that. But so we went through Louth yesterday, snuck through Louth like Indians, quietly through Louth, and we met
only Ken, to get sprung by Ken,
who hailed me from the side of the river imperiously. Oh, lovely guy, and
nothing. Some teeth.
Very homely. He had built a brick sort of fence and put these in the wheel rims of these identical wheel rims all the way to the river. And this little pump, obviously very, very neat. Everything was absolutely immaculate. But
he's got 20 acres, he says, that he sits on, and when the river rises too much, he gets cut off because there's a channel behind him that rises.
And he reckons he's just amazed at how the river's come back. The fish in the river have come back. But confesses probably hasn't caught a cod there for a couple of years. But plenty of golden perch, certainly. They're everywhere in the river at the moment. All right, we should go and rock and roll.